Right, I'm just very quickly going to go over keyboard input. It's not very difficult to understand, so I'm not going to make a big video on it. So here, the only main difference in Python is that the read line, and a lot of languages do this actually, doesn't allow a message. So yeah, so basically you have to write the message first. Notice I've not used write line to keep the program on the same line. So I write out the name. I'm going to do Steve, enter your age 24, and we're done. Now, same as Python, it reads everything as a string. So there are actually two ways to convert an integer from to get an integer from a string. They're very similar, and I don't want to go on about them too much, but you can use the convert.toInt32 that we talked about earlier. So you read the line in, and it gets converted. There is also this way, which I'll copy underneath, which is to do int.parse, and that will also do it. Obviously, I've already got age defined, so I can do that. I'll just overwrite age, but I can't redefine age as an int. Okay, so I'll just take that out because I've already said what age is here. In fact, just for completion of the fact, I'll set age. I'll do age up here, and I'll use it down here both times. So this is doing the same thing. There's one slight thing that it's very hard to teach right now. There's a slight difference in about what happens if there's something called a null value, but we might look at that later on the course. I don't think it's imperative. But anyway, the point is basically they do the same thing. So it depends if you want to do int.parse or convert.to32. I'd probably just remember convert.toInt32, but it's up to you. But they basically do the same thing. Yeah, and that will then give you two integers that work. So that's how you do it. Same for floats, not a big difference. If this was a float, let's do float height. And then obviously change these to enter your height. Here you would do float.parse. So here, oh, I forget to change that to height. Okay, and this one's a height. And float is a fancy word for single in precision, so we do two single. There we go. And that's it. So maybe that might be easier to remember the float.parse method and the integer.parse because you haven't got to remember that's to single. Although just remember in the exam they would not mark you down for writing to float because it's the algorithm. But yeah, maybe just remember the data type.parse, which is an easier way to remember it. And you can use that whenever converting between data types. So maybe that's the easier way for string to integer. But for the others, you'd have to do convert to, that gives you more precision. Yeah, you just got to remember that that's going to be, look, see, if you hover over float, it says system.single. But you'll learn all these things as we go along.